So looking at number 1, the best way to do it is to draw a right triangle, choose an angle of reference, call it theta because that's what they're using as your angle of reference. So from here, they're kind of giving us all the sides of the triangle. Secant, remember, is hypotenuse, which in this case it's 7, over the adjacent side, which is 3. And we get that from these two values there. And then they're also giving us tan theta. So same triangle, same angle of reference. Now we have different values. Tan is the opposite side over the adjacent side. Now here, my adjacent sides match at 3, which is telling me that my opposite side is 2 roots 10. And then we can find whatever we need. So cosecant of this right triangle, cosecant is equal to the hypotenuse, which is 7, over the opposite side, which is 2 roots of 10. And then if we want to rationalize the denominator, we got to get rid of the square root in the bottom. And so we multiply both top and the bottom by the root 10. And so in the numerator, we end up with 7 roots of 10. In the denominator, root 10 and root 10 is root 100, but root of 100 is 10. And so then we have 2 times 10, which is 20. And so my answer for that one is 7 root 10 over 20. Looking at number 2, we approach it the same method. So here we have a right triangle, label it theta, and they're giving us 2 things. They're telling us the hypotenuse is 9 and the adjacent side is 2. Now we have to be careful because we have a negative there. Since we have a negative, the hypotenuse is always going to be positive. So, but I still have a negative. So if I know that the hypotenuse is positive, that means that the adjacent side has to be negative. And so we have a right triangle here, and we have 2 out of the 3 sides. We can always find the third by using Pythagorean theorem. Now notice here how they're telling you sine theta is less than 0. All that is saying is that your sine is going to be negative, which indicates that my y value here, my opposite side, is also going to be negative. So don't know the value yet. All I know is that it's negative. To find the actual value, we use Pythagorean theorem. I know my c, I know my hypotenuse. So to get this third side, I'm going to do 9 squared minus 2 squared. So that's 81 minus 4, and gives us the square root of 77, and we're going to leave it as root 77. And in this case, since there was a negative in front, I know it's negative. And now we can go ahead and answer both of these questions. So we have cotan theta. Cotan theta is equal to the adjacent side, which is negative 2, over the opposite side, which is negative root 77. So we have 2 negatives, and we're going to do 2 things. We have 2 negatives, so they cancel out. And then we also have a square root in the denominator, so we're going to take care of that. So the negatives become positive, so we get cotan theta is equal to 2 roots of 77 over 77. And then second question, or second part of the question, is asking for us to find cosecant theta. Cosecant theta is equal to the hypotenuse, which is 9, over the opposite side, which is negative root 77. And by similar fashion, we're going to rationalize. Now in this problem, we only have 1 negative, so we have a positive over a negative, which means that my whole equation, or my whole answer, is going to end up being negative. So I put a negative in the front. In the numerator, I get 9 root 77, and in the denominator, I end up with 77. And so these are my 2 answers for that particular problem.